Dear learners, in this video we have JEE Advanced 2020 Chemistry Paper 1. In section 1, the questions are single answer questions. Here the first question is, if the distribution of molecular speeds of a gas is as per the figure shown below, then the ratio of the most probable, the average and the root mean square speeds respectively is. Here we have to find out what is the V most probable, V average and V root mean square velocity. Generally, it is in the ratio of 1 is to 1.128 is to 1.224. Okay, this one is valid when the distribution is not symmetric. Suppose if the distribution is like this. Okay, this is not symmetric. In this case, this is the most probable velocity, and this point will indicate average velocity, and this point will indicate root mean square velocity. But the given distribution curve is symmetric. It's not a, it's a symmetric curve. So in this case, this point, the middle point, indicates most probable velocity and also average velocity. So in symmetric distribution of velocities, the most probable velocity is equal to average velocity. In this case, there is no change in the RMS velocity. It will be RMS velocity, root mean square velocity. So the ratio will be 1 is to 1 is to 1.224. Here B is the answer. What is the answer for this one? B is the answer. Second question. Which of the following liberates O2 upon hydrolysis? Pb3O4. So this one is insoluble in water. So it does not generate oxygen. And potassium superoxide. When you react with water, here there is a formation of hydroxide and also there is a generation of oxygen. If you react superoxides with water, they can generate oxygen. So in this case, there is a generation of oxygen. If you take peroxides, Na2O2 or Li2O2, in this case, when you react with water, there is a formation of hydroxide and hydrogen peroxide. In this case also, there is a formation of lithium hydroxide and hydrogen peroxide. So in these two cases, there is no generation of oxygen. So what is the answer here? B is the answer. A colorless aqueous solution contains nitrates of two metals X and Y. When it was added to an aqueous solution of sodium chloride, a white precipitate was formed. This precipitate was found to be partly soluble in hot water to give a residue P and solution Q. The residue P was soluble in aqueous NH3. Okay, P, this one is soluble in aqueous NH3 and also excess sodium thiosulfate. The hot solution Q gave a yellow precipitate with potassium iodide. First, there is a formation of white precipitate. Both will form white precipitate, and one is soluble in hot water, one is not soluble in hot water, and one is the precipitate which is not soluble in hot water is soluble in aqueous NH3 and sodium thiosulfate. This one, from this one you can conclude that the P is silver chloride. Okay, silver chloride, it's a white precipitate. This one is soluble in ammonia, aqueous ammonia. Suppose if you take silver chloride, when you react with ammonia, there is a formation of complex and He3 twice Cl. Okay, this complex is soluble in water. And similarly, if you react with Na2H2O3 thiosulfate, here also there is a formation of complex, that is Na3Az2O3 twice. Okay, this complex is also soluble in water. And second statement, the hot solution. Okay, this is chloride, which can form yellow precipitate with potassium iodide. We know that lead chloride, if you take, when it is reacted with potassium iodide, okay, this is the solution of hot water, and there is a formation of lead iodide, yellow color PBT. This is the yellow color PBT. So you can conclude that the first one X is silver and the second one Y is lead. So the answer is A. Newman processes are given. Which one of the following options represent identical molecules? You have to identify what are the identical molecules. For this you have to give nomenclature. Here this is this one gets first position 1, and this ring is 2, at this one is 3, 4, 5. Then what is the nomenclature of this molecule? At second position you have methyl group. This is the second position, methyl group, and third position you have 2 methyl groups, and at second position you have OH group. So what is the name? 2, 3, 3 trimethyl. The parent chain has 5 carbons, so pentan. The position of hydroxy group is 2, so 2-ol. This is the name. For this you have to give numbering from this carbon 1, 2, 3, and circle is 4. This circle is 4, and this methyl group 5. So here at second position you have one methyl group, and at fourth position you have one methyl group. So what is at third position, not fourth, at third position you have methyl group. Then what is the name? 3-ethyl. Here you have to follow alphabetical order. 3-ethyl and 2-methyl. Then 5 carbons are there. Pentan. What is the position of hydroxy group? Second position, pentan, 2-ol. In this case you have to give numbering from this carbon 1, 2, and this is a 3. This circle is 3, and this one is 4, 5. So here what is the name of this molecule? At second position you have methyl group and hydroxy group. At third position you have ethyl group. So the name of this molecule is same to this molecule. Same, 3-ethyl, 2-methyl, pentan, 2-ol. So here Q and R are same molecules. And if you take S, here you have to give numbering from this one 1, 2, this circle is 3, and this one is 4, and this one is 5. In this case 1-methyl. And what is the position of ethyl? The 3-ethyl and 1-methyl. The position of methyl is 1-methyl, and pentan 3-ol. Pentan 3-ol. So from this you can conclude that Q and R are same molecules. So the answer is C, identical molecules. What is the answer? C is the answer. Which one of the following structure has the IUPAC name 3-ethanyl, 2-hydroxy, 4-methyl, hex 3 in 5 ionic acid? Okay, this is the number you can give. This is the main function group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At third position there should be ethanyl, but this one is ethyl, not ethanyl. So this one is wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3. This is a 4, and this is a 5 and 6. At third position there is a ethanyl, okay. 2-hydroxy, okay. At fourth position, instead of methyl, there is ethyl. So this one also wrong. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At third position, not ethanyl, it's a methyl group. So this one also wrong. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At third position, you have ethanyl group and 2-hydroxy group and 4-methyl group, and the total number of carbons in parent chain is 6. At third position you have ene, at fifth position you have ine. So this is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. The Fischer projections are given. D-erythrose is shown below. D-erythrose and its isomers are listed. PQRS, these are the isomers. Choose the correct relationship between PQRS and D-erythrose. For this, you have to identify configuration at asymmetric centers. Suppose if we take a second asymmetric center, this is the second asymmetric center, and this is the third asymmetric center at C2, C3. What is the configuration? You have to identify. Suppose if you take this one, OH, and this is the CHO, and this is the HO, and the remaining part. Here this one gets first priority 1, 2, and this is the 3. This is the fourth priority. When you connect these three, you are getting anti-clockwise. When hydrogen is at horizontal position, the anti-clockwise has R configuration. Suppose when the hydrogen is at vertical position, if you connect first, second, and third priority groups, if it is anti-clockwise, then it will be S. When the same hydrogen is at horizontal position, here the nomenclature will be R. And in this case also, what is C2R? In this case, what are the substrates you have? Here OH, and here H, and here CH2OH, and here you have a remaining part. This is the first, second, and this is the third. Again, anti-clockwise hydrogen at horizontal position, anti-clockwise R. So what is the configuration you have at C2 and C3 are R. So this is the configuration R and R. Here C2, what is the configuration? This is the first priority group OH, second priority and third priority, and fourth priority is away from the viewer. So if you connect 1, 2, 3, it's a clockwise direction, and the hydrogen is away from the viewer, so the configuration will be R. Clockwise R, when hydrogen is away from viewer. In this case, what is the number? 1, and this is the 2, and this is the 3. 1, 2, 3, if you connect anti-clockwise, but hydrogen is towards the viewer. Anti-clockwise, when hydrogen is towards the viewer, instead of S, you can have R. Anti-clockwise, hydrogen is towards the viewer, so the configuration is R. In this case, what is the configuration? R, R. So what is the relation? This one is R, R, this one is R, R. So identical, means P2. Okay, in this case, CHO, OH, 1, 2, 3. When you connect, there is a clockwise direction, but hydrogen is towards the viewer, so the configuration is S. Here 1, 2, and 3. When you connect, you will get clockwise. And hydrogen is away from the viewer, so the configuration is S, R. So In this case, you will get SR configuration. And what is the relation? RRSR diastereomers. Okay, there is a change in configuration at one stereo center, so the relation will be diastereomers. So Q is 1. Then what about this one? CHOH. Okay, first molecule P and R at first carbon, same configuration, so R. And this one HOH, this one. Okay, 1 2 3. When you connect anti-clockwise, you are getting 1 2 and 3. Anti-clockwise you are getting, so this one is S. So here what is the configuration? RS, so diastereomers. So R is equal to 1. R has relation with 1. And this one 1 2 3. Clockwise hydrogen is towards V over, so this one is S. And 1 2 3. This one is clockwise, hydrogen is towards V over, so this one also S. So here what is the configuration? S. RRSS. What is the relation? The relation is enantiomer. So S is 3. S is 3. So what is the answer? The answer is C. In this case, the answer is C. Okay, here it is from thermodynamics and also gas state. In thermodynamics, the PV work done is given by W is equal to minus integral P external into dV. Okay, for a system undergoing a particular process, the work done is given. W is equal to minus integral dV RT by B minus B minus A by V square. Okay, if you observe this equation, it is closely related to real gas equation, that is van der Waals equation. P plus A n square by V square minus V minus NB is equal to nRT. Suppose if you take 1 mole of gas, finally the equation will be P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT. This is for 1 mole. Okay, well, let us take options. System that satisfies the van der Waals equation of state. Okay, suppose P external is equal to P. What is P external? Okay, this is the external pressure. This is the P external, and this is the pressure of gas. Okay, when these two are equal, what is the process? The process is reversible process. So when P external is equal to P, okay, let us take a P value. Then what is the P value? P is equal to P plus A by V square is equal to RT by V minus C. Then P is equal to, what is the value? RT by V minus B minus A by V square. So in this case, when P external is equal to P, you can substitute instead of P external, you can write this equation. Okay, when it is valid, this equation is valid when P external is equal to P. So you are getting this term from van der Waals equation. So this one is correct. A system that satisfies the van der Waals equation of state. This one, is it correct or not? Correct. Process that is reversible and isothermal. Okay, it is a reversible process and it may be isothermal or also adiabatic. Process that is reversible and adiabatic. Here A correct, B correct and C correct. Process that is irreversible, this one is not correct. Since P external is equal to pressure of the gas, the process should be reversible. So this one is wrong. So what are the answers? What are the correct options? A, B and C are the correct options for this question. Okay, with respect to the compounds 1 to 4, choose the correct statements. Let's take the first option. The acidity of compound 1 is due to the delocalization in the conjugate base. Okay, this is the first molecule. And when you remove the acidity, means you have to remove H plus ion. The acidity is due to release of H plus ion. When there is a release of H plus ions, here there is a formation of carbanion. This negative charge will be delocalized over these three phenylenes. That's why the conjugate base is stabilized. Okay, when the conjugate base is stabilized, the molecule will be more acidic. So the first one is correct. The conjugate base of compound 4 is aromatic. So when you take the conjugate base, means you have to remove H plus. Here you have minus charge, and here lone pair of electrons will delocalize in this molecule. So finally, how many pi electrons will be there? 6 pi electrons. Okay, all are sp2 hybridized carbons. It's a planar molecule. So it's according to Hubble's rule, it's aromatic. Due to aromaticity, the carbanion is stabilized. That's why the molecule is more acidic. This one also correct. Compound 2 becomes more acidic when it has a NO2 substrate. Obviously, when you introduce electron withdrawing group on benzene ring, it can release H plus easily. So the acidity increases. So introduction of electron withdrawing group increases acidity of benzene ring. Okay, this one also correct. The acidity of compounds follow the order 1 is greater than 4. Okay, this one is wrong. Actually, due to aromaticity, this one exhibits more acidity when compared with this one. Actually, order is 4 greater than 1. Next one, 5 greater than 5 greater than 2 greater than 3. This is the order. Okay, here this order is incorrect. So what is the answer? You have A, B, and C are the correct options. In question 9, we have to identify Q, R, S. Okay, suppose if you take this molecule, double bond O, when it is reacted with the Lewis acid, AlCl3, here there is a formation of carbocation intermediate, O, AlCl3. Okay, this one can act as electrophile. This is the electrophile. Okay, this is the benzene ring. This one is electron releasing group. At which position this electrophile attacks? Here it's very difficult due to steric indents. The attack of electrophile will not take place, and here also it's very difficult since tertiary butyl group is very bulky. So the electrophile will attack on this carbon. This is feasible. So then what is the Q? Q will be, naturally Q will be this one. At this position, this C double bond O will attach, so you will get Q. Okay, Q is correct. Okay, this is electrophilic substitution reaction. Finally, the H plus on the benzene ring comes on to the COO minus. And what is the next one? ZnHgAcl. Okay, what is the purpose of this reagent? This reagent converts carbonyl group into CH2. So the next one will be CH2. This one becomes CH2. And what is the purpose of H3PO4? It's a dehydration agent. This one removes hydrogen from this ring and OH from CO or OH. So finally there is a formation of ring 1, 2, 3, this carbon carbon, this carbon, and here there is a formation of ring between this carbon and this one. So there is a cyclization, and there is a C double bond O at which position? Not at this position. This one becomes CH2. This position, you will get C double bond O at this position. So when you react with H3PO4, finally you will get this molecule, not this molecule. Here there is no. Then after that CH3MgPr and H3O plus. Here CH3 minus and Mg plus. So here there is attacking of there is a nucleophilic addition reaction. CH3 will attaches to this carbon. So finally you will get CH3 and OH. Okay, this group will become, this one will become OH and this is CH3. H2SO4, it's a dehydration agent, so there is a removal of OH group and hydrogen. So finally you will get this one. So which are correct? Q is correct, and S, this one or this one? S is this one. S is correct, and R is incorrect. That's why S, the A, option A is incorrect, option C is incorrect, option B and option D are correct options. So what is the correct one? B and D are correct options. Choose the correct statements among the following. FeCl4 has tetrahedral geometry. Okay, Cl, you know, Cl minus is a weak field ligand. So what is the hybridization? The hybridization will be obviously sp3 hybridization. So the geometry will be tetrahedral. Here what is the ion? You have the oxidation state is +3. So what is the electronic configuration? The electronic configuration will be D5. D5 weak field. So you have like this. Or you can take okay, weak field. So there is a filling of the electrons like this. Here S, here you will have 3p. What is hybridization? sp3. And if you take COEN NH3 twice Cl2 plus has two geometrical isomers. Suppose if you take a structure B, okay, central atom is cobalt. Okay, you can write. Okay, this is the En, and here you have NH3, and here you have NH3 and Cl and Cl. Here NH3 trans, what is the structure possible? NH3 trans and Cl is cis. What is another structure? NH3 and here is Cl, and this is NH3 and this one is Cl, and this is the ethylene diamine. Here NH3 and Cl, what is the NH3? Here cis positions, Cl's are in cis position. This is another geometrical isomer. And what is the another possibility is cobalt, and this is the ethylene diamine ring, and it will be Cl, here NH3 and NH3. So here Cl in trans relation and NH3 are in cis relation. So how many are possible? Okay, NH3 may be in trans, Cl may be in cis, Both NH3Cl may be in cis relation, Cl in trans relation, and NH3 in cis relation. Okay, how many are possible? 3 are possible. So this one is wrong. FeCl4 minus has higher spin-only magnetic moment than COEN twice Cl2 plus. Suppose if you take crystal field splitting, since it is a tetrahedral, the splitting will be like this. This is the E and this is the T2. Here 5 electrons are there. How can you fill 5 electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since the pairing energy is greater than splitting energy, crystal field splitting energy, or delta naught, delta T. That's why instead of pairing, okay, there is a occupation of electron at T2 level. So here, how many unpaired electrons are there? Unpaired electrons, 5 unpaired electrons are there. And what is the spin? What is the magnetic momentum? Mu is equal to root over n into n plus 2. 5 into 7 Bohr magneton. It is root 35 Bohr magneton. Suppose if you take the COEN twice Cl2. Okay, what is the oxidation state here? The oxidation state is cobalt 3 plus. It's a D6 configuration. Okay, this one is a strong field ligand. En is very strong field ligand, so there is a pairing of electrons. So it's a octahedral T2Z and EZ. So the 6 electrons, there is a pairing of 6 electrons. So unpaired electrons 0. So the mu is equal to 0. The root over n is 0. 0 plus 2 is equal to 0. So FeCl4 has higher spin only magnetic moment than COEN twice Cl2 plus. Okay, this one is correct. The cobalt ion in COEN twice Cl2 plus has sp3d2 hybridization. Okay, if you take this one, here if you take 5 d orbitals, the 6 electrons will be filled like this. In strong field ligand case, there is a pairing of electrons, so there is availability of d orbitals, inner d orbitals. So the hybridization will be d2sp3, not sp3d2. So this one is wrong. So finally, this one is correct, this one is wrong, and C is correct and D is wrong. So what is the answer? Which are the correct statements? A and C are the correct statements. With respect to hypochlorite means ClO minus, and chlorate ClO3 minus, and perchlorate ClO4 minus. Choose the correct statement. Hypochlorite ion is the strongest conjugate base. Okay, in order to know the basicity of these conjugate bases, you have to know the acidity order of acids HClO, HClO3, HClO4. What is the acidity order for these? The acidity order is like HClO4 is strongest acid. Okay, stronger the acidity, more the acidity, less the basicity of conjugate base. So if you take conjugate base ClO minus, ClO3 minus, ClO4 minus, this is a strong acid, so it will be weak. The conjugate base will be weak base, and this one will be strong base. The base of weak acid, the conjugate base of weak acid will be strong base. So hypochlorite ion is the strongest conjugate base. Okay, this one is correct. The molecular shape of only chlorate ion is influenced by the lone pair of electrons of chlorine. So what is the structure of ClO minus? It's a linear. Okay, remaining 3 lone pair of electrons, and here also 4 lone pair of electrons, 3 lone pair of electrons, and ClO3 minus is a linear. Okay, it is independent of lone pair of electrons on the chlorine. The shape is independent of lone pair of electrons on the chlorine. And ClO3 minus. Suppose if you take ClO3 minus, this is the ClO3 minus. Here there is a lone pair. Here the geometry, the molecular shape of chlorate is influenced by the lone pair electrons. Due to repulsion between lone pair and bond pair, the shape of the molecule will be influenced. If you take ClO4 minus, there is no lone pair electrons. So there is no influence of lone pair of electrons. So this one is also correct. The hypochlorite and chlorate ions disproportionate to give rise to identical set of ions. Suppose if you take a ClO minus, this one disproportionates into ClO3 minus plus Cl minus. It's a disproportionation reaction. In this case, you are getting ClO3 minus and Cl minus, means chlorate and chloride. If you take chlorate, ClO3 minus, you will get ClO4 minus, Cl minus, hypochlorite. So, perchlorate you are getting. So, the hypochlorite and chlorate ions disproportionate to give rise to identical set of ions. Here, you are not getting identical set of ions. In this case, you are getting chlorate. In this case, you are getting perchlorate. So, this one is incorrect. The hypochlorite ion oxidizes the sulfite ion. Okay, let us take hypochlorite ion ClO minus and sulfite ion, that is SO3 minus. In this case, this one acting as oxidizing agent. So Cl minus SO4, SO3 2 minus, SO4 2 minus. So there is a hypochlorite ion oxidizes the sulfite ion into sulfate ion. So this one is correct. So what are the correct options? Correct statements? Okay, A, B and D are the. Question number 12. The cubic unit cell structure of a compound containing cation M and anion X is shown below. When compared to the anion, the cation has smaller ionic radius. Choose the correct statement. Okay, first one, the empirical formula of the compound is Mx. Here, the position of M is face centered, so the contribution is 1 by 2 to the unit cell. The unit cell contains 2 M's, so into 2 is equal to 1. So finally, the number of M's in unit cell is equal to 1. In case of X, the position of X is edge centered, so the contribution to the unit cell is 1 by 4, and the total number of X are 4 into 4 is equal to 1. So the empirical formula is M1 X1, that is Mx. The empirical formula is Mx. Okay, this one is correct. The cation M and anion X have different coordination geometries. Okay, what is the coordination number of M? What is the coordination number of cation? Suppose if you take this cation, this one is surrounded with 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 X around M. Actually, this one is shared by 2 unit cells. In another unit cell, you can find another 4X. So finally, M is surrounded by 8 x's. So the coordination number of M is 8. Suppose if you take x, this one is surrounded by 2m, but the same x is shared by 4 unit cells. Per unit cell, it is surrounded by 2 m's. For 4th unit cells, it will be 8. So if you take x also, what is the coordination number? The coordination number is 8. So in this case, both m and x have same coordination number. So the coordination geometries are same. So this one is wrong. The ratio of mx bond length to the cubic unit cell edge length is 0.866. Here there is a little bit geometry. This is a edge length. This one is the edge length A. You have to find out mx bond length. What is the mx bond length? This is the m. This is the x. Okay, this is the mx bond length. Here, what is the distance? It is the distance between face center and edge, adjacent edge center. Okay, the distance is root 3 by 2a. If the edge length is a, then the distance between face center and edge center is root 3 by 2a. Then what is the ratio? The ratio is root 3 by 2a divided by a. So there is a cancellation of a. What is the value of root 3 by 2? The value of root 3 by 2 is 0.866. This one is also correct. The ratio of the ionic radii of cation M to anion X is 0.414. Here, what is the coordination number of M or X? Here, the coordination number is 8. When the coordination number is 8, the ratio between cation R plus and R minus is in between 0.732 and 1.0. So in this case, the ratio should be in between 0.73 to 1.0, but the ratio is given as 0.414. So this is for coordination number 6. So this one is incorrect. The ratio is incorrect. So finally, what are the answers? Here, A and C are the correct answers. 5 ml of 0. It's a numerical questions. 5 ml of 0.1 molar oxalic acid solution taken in a conical flask is titrated against sodium hydroxide from a burette using phenolphthalein indicator. The volume of NaOH required for the appearance of permanent faint pink color is tabulated below. So these are equivalent points. What is the concentration in the molarity of the NaOH solution? Suppose if you take the equation between NaOH and oxalic acid, H2C2O4. What is the equation? Na2C2O4 plus H2O. So in this case, 2 NaOH H2C2O4 gives rise to Na2C2O4 plus 2 H2O. So in this case, M1 by V1 by N1 is equal to M2 by V2 by N2. What is the M1? This M1 is a molarity of NaOH. You have to find out molarity of NaOH, and V1 is the equivalent volume. Here 5 experiments were done. The last three consecutive values are same. So what is the equivalent point? The V1 is 9. So this is the V1. And N1. Okay, what is the coefficient? 2 is the coefficient. N1 is equal to 2. And M2, what is the M2? 0.10 molar oxalic acid is given, and V2 5 ml and N2 is 1. So M1 is equal to M2 V2 by N2 into N1 by V1. So finally you will get what is the M2 value. M2 is 0.10 and V2 5 ml into what is the N1? N1 is 2 divided by N2 is 1 and V1 is 9. So 5 into 2 10, it will be 1 by 9. What is the answer? 1 by 9. The molarity of the NaOH is 1 by 9. So the numerical value is 1 by 9. Question number 14. Consider the reaction A equilibrium with B at 1000 Kelvin at time t dash. The temperature of the system was increased to 2000 Kelvin and the system was allowed to reach equilibrium. Throughout this experiment, the partial pressure of A was maintained 1 bar. Given below is the plot of the partial pressures of B with time. What is the ratio of the standard Gibbs energy of the reaction at 0,000 Kelvin to that at 2000 Kelvin? Let's take a K equilibrium at 1000 Kelvin is equal to concentration of B or partial pressure of B and the partial pressure of A at 1000 Kelvin. Here, what is the partial pressure of B at 1000 Kelvin? At 1000 Kelvin, the partial pressure is 10. So 10 by 1 is equal to 10. The partial pressure of A is 1. And K 2000 Kelvin is equal to PB by PA. Here PB is 100. This is 100 by 1 is equal to 100. You know that delta, what is the relation between K equilibrium constant and delta G? Delta G is equal to minus nRT log ln K. So if you take delta G at 1000 Kelvin by delta G at 2000 Kelvin, this is the ratio, it will be minus NR, temperature 1000 Kelvin, and ln K. Okay, what is the ln K here? K is 10 minus NR 2000 ln 100. Here NR cancel to this one, and finally you will get ln 10. You can write it as 1 into ln 10, and it can be written as 2 into ln 10, and here there is a 2. So ln 10 cancel, so finally you will get 1 by 4, that is 0.25. What is the numerical number? 0.25. Question number 15. Consider a 70% efficient hydrogen oxygen fuel cell working under standard conditions at 1 bar and 298 Kelvin. Its cell reaction is H2 plus half O2 gives rise to H2O. The work derived from the cell on the consumption of 1.0 into 10 to the power of minus 3 mole of hydrogen gas is used to compress 1 mole of monoatomic ideal gas in thermal insulated container. What is the change in temperature of the ideal gas? Okay, the standard reduction potentials are given. In this case, you have to calculate what is the work derived from the cell, and finally you have to relate the work derived from the cell and the change in temperature of the container. So for this you have to first calculate E naught cell. E naught cell is equal to E naught of cathode minus E naught of anode. Here this is the cathode, this is a cathodic cell, this is a anodic compartment, this is the cathodic compartment. So what is the value? You will get 1.23 minus 0.00. Finally you will get 1.23 volts. We know that delta G is equal to minus NF E naught of cell. In this case, N is number of electrons which are involved in this reaction. In this reaction, there is involvement of 2 electrons. Suppose if you take half mole of oxygen, how many electrons will be involved? 4 by 2, 2 electrons. 1 mole of hydrogen, how many electrons are involved? 2 electrons. So here N is equal to 2. So minus 2 into 96,500 into 1.23. Then what is the W max? W max is equal to minus delta G naught is equal to 2 into 96,500 into 1.23. But in this case, okay, this one is valid when 1 mole of gas is involved. 1 mole of hydrogen gas is involved. But in this case, how many moles of gas? Hydrogen gas is consumed 1.0 into 10 to the power minus 3. So in this case, the work derived is equal to 2 into 96,500 into 1.23 into number of moles participated 10 to the power minus 3. It is valid when the efficiency is 100%, but the efficiency is given as 70. So you have to multiply with 70 by 100. Okay, this is the work derived from the cell. Then, good. If you take monoatomic gas, 1 mole of monoatomic gas in thermally insulated container. Okay, this work is used to compress 1 mole of monoatomic gas. Then obviously there is a change in temperature. Then what is the change in temperature in this case? From first law of thermodynamics, delta U is equal to Q plus W. Since it is thermally insulated container, the heat transferred is equal to 0. So is equal to W. Delta U is equal to W. We know that delta U is equal to NCV delta T is equal to W. Here N is number of moles of monoatomic gas. Here number of moles is 1 into. What is the CV value? 3 by 2 R. For monoatomic gas, the CV value is 3 by 2 R. So you have to multiply with 3 by 2. What is the R value? 8.314 into delta T is equal to W. So when delta T is equal to W by W into 2 by 3 divided by 8.314. So when you substitute W value, delta T is equal to, what is the W value? 70 by 100 into 2 into 96,500 into 1.23 into 10 to the power minus 3 and divided by 8.314 into 2 by 3. So finally, after the calculation, you will get nearly 13.32. Okay, this is a change in temperature delta T of the container. Aluminium, 16th question. Aluminium reacts with sulfuric acid to form aluminium sulfate and hydrogen. What is the volume of hydrogen gas in liters produced at 300 Kelvin and 1 atmospheric pressure when 5.4 grams of aluminium and 50 ml of 5 molar sulfuric acid are combined for the reaction? First, you have to write down the equation aluminum plus H2SO4 gives rise to, there is a formation of aluminum sulfate Al2SO4 3, and there is a release of hydrogen gas. And here, how many moles of aluminum? You have to take 2 moles, here 3 moles. So finally you will get 3 moles of hydrogen. Okay, this is a balanced equation between aluminum and H2SO4. In this case, 5.4 gram of aluminum is taken. 5.4 grams. Then what is the atomic weight of aluminum? What is the atomic weight? It's 27. So when you divide with 27, you will get how many moles? 0.2 moles. 0.2 moles of aluminum is participated. And 50 ml 5 molar sulfuric acid. Okay, now we know that M molarity is equal to N by V into 1000 if it is in ml. So number of moles, N is equal to mv by 1000. So the number of moles will be 50 into molarity 5 and 50 by 1000. So it will be 0.25. 1 by 4. It will be 0.25 moles. Suppose if you take 0.2 moles, here aluminum 0.2 moles and H2SO4, how many moles? H2SO4 0.25. Okay, when you divide with stoichiometric coefficients by 2, this one is by 3. Okay, which one is smaller? That is a limiting reagent. Here you will get 0.1. Here you will get some 0.8 like that. So this one is smaller. So here H2SO4 is the limiting reagent. This one determines the amount of product which is formed. Here if you take 3 moles of H2SO4, 3 moles of H2SO4 releases 3 moles of hydrogen. Then since this one decides, this is the limiting reagent, then 0.25 moles of H2SO4 releases obviously 0.25 H2. So here number of moles of H2 is 0.25. Then you have to calculate volume of the gas. So PV is equal to nRT, this ideal gas. V is equal to nRT by P. So you will get 0.25 into R value 0.0821 liter atmosphere. And what is the temperature? It's 300 Kelvin divided by, what is the P value? Okay, P is 1 atmosphere. So okay, when you calculate this one, you will get, okay, I am calculating, you will get 6.15 liters. What is the value you will get? You will get 6.15 liters. This is the answer. 17. Uranium-92-238 is known to undergo radioactive decay to form lead-82-206 by emitting alpha and beta particles. The rock initially contained 68 into 10 to the power of minus 6 grams of uranium-92. The number of alpha particles that it would emit during its radioactive decay of 92 urium to 82 lead in 3 half-lives. How many half-lives? In 3 half-lives is Z into 10 to the power of 18. Then what is the value of Z? You have to find out value of Z. If you take this one 92 uranium 238, this one is converted into 82 lead 206. Here what is the mass difference? The mass difference is 238 and 206, it will be 232. Okay, if you divide with the mass of alpha particle, that is 4 is equal to 8. So how many alpha particles will be generated? Here there is a generation of 8 alpha particles. Okay, this is for one disintegration. In this case, how many moles of uranium are participated? Here 6 by 68 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by 238 moles uranium participated. This many moles means how many atoms, how many nuclei will be there? 10 to the power minus 6 into 238 into 10 to the 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 uranium 92 238 nuclei are participating in the radioactive decay. Then now, if you take one mole or one nuclei, there is a formation of 8. So how many alpha particles will be generated for complete disintegration? It will be 68 into 10 to the power of minus 6 divided by 238 into 6 into 10 to the power of 23 into 8 into 8. But here 3 off lives, after 3 off lives, not complete disintegration, 3 off lives, then how many alpha particles will be there? Suppose initially let us take A, for one half life time it will be converting into A by 2, the second half life time it will be converting into A by 4, and third half life time it will be converting into A by 8. So for 3 half lifetimes, how much is consumed? The consumed is A minus A by 8 is equal to, what is the value? 7 by 8 into A. Okay, A is the initial amount of uranium 92 238. So you have to multiply with 7 by 8. So for 3 half lifetimes, after 3 half lifetimes, 3 T halves, then this one will be equal to 68 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into 6 into 10 to the power of 23, that's 23 divided by 238 into 8 into 7 by 8. So it should be in terms of 10 to the power of 18. Then what is this value, Z value? So if we calculate this one, you will get 1.204. So you will get 1.204 into 10 to the power of 18. So the Z value is, Z is equal to 1.204. Question number 18. In this question, you have to calculate degree of unsaturation. Okay, what is the reactant? This is a reactant when you react with H plus, concentrated H2SO4. Here there is a formation of this intermediate. Now this is the pH, phenyl group. This one also phenyl group. and this one also phenyl group. Here there is a protonation, C double bond O, O, M, E. Here there is a protonation. At this oxygen there is a protonation. So finally there is a removal of MuOH. So there is a formation of this intermediate, C double bond O. Here there is a positive charge. Here you can take one of the phenyl ring, like this, and this one is pH, and this one also pH. Here the electrons, these electrons can attack on positively charged carbon. Then there is a formation of this intermediate. This is a pH, this one also pH, and this one is double bond O, and here there is a formation of bond between this carbonyl carbon and this one, and here there is a positive charge. Finally there is a removal of hydrogen from this position. There is a removal of hydrogen. So finally you will get this compound, and this one is pH, this one is pH, and this one, finally you are getting again benzene ring. Here there is a double bond 4. So you have to find out degree of unsaturation. We know that if you take one benzene ring, what is the degree of unsaturation for one benzene ring? Here 3 pi bonds are there, 3 pi bonds, and ring also one saturation, one ring there. So degree of unsaturation is 4. Means if you take one phenyl ring or benzene ring, what is the unsaturation? Degree of unsaturation is 4. Here how many phenyl rings are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 phenyl rings are there. So 4 into 4, the degree of unsaturation is 16. And if you take this ring and this carbonyl carbon, okay, this here you can find one pi bond. So the degree of unsaturation is 1 due to C double bond O, and this is ring. This ring has 1 degree of unsaturation. So finally what is the degree of unsaturation? The degree of unsaturation is 18. This is the answer. 18 is the answer.